Hey everyone! Welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys today, and I can't wait to get started because this has been smelling really nice. So today, as we come to a close of July, this is going to be the last in our stream of hot versus cold. So today we're doing a kind of tea that, one, I've never really tasted before, and two, I haven't done iced in a while. So today's blend is Buddha's Dream, and it's a white tea blend, one that I rarely do. Just in general, I don't do a lot of white teas, and I don't know why, because I generally like white teas. But in this case, I make an exception because to have a hot versus cold white tea is kind of a rarity for me. So this one is not just a white tea, but it's got a couple of things in it. So it's got white tea, a green gunpowder tea, jasmine chunhao tea, which is another type of green tea that's infused with jasmine. It's got natural pineapple flavor, natural peach flavor, rose petals, and marigolds. So it's a very fragrant tea, and it smells like it's going to be very light tasting. But I'm going to take my first sip, and we'll see how it comes out. Oh, that is nice and refreshing. That is very nice. It's got a very light texture. It's got a lot of fruit tartness to it, but it also has like that floral essence, heavy on the rose, not so heavy on the marigold, but it is in there. Now, as you can see, it's a very light tasting tea. You can see practically right through it. In this light, because I have kind of a yellowish light bulb on, it's easy to imagine that it's see-through. But if I could put it a little bit closer, you can see that it's more yellow than anything. Sorry, I'm going in between two cameras, so I have to be fair to both. But in this case, it's really fragrant. I'm loving the way that it tastes hot. It's got kind of a candy sweetness. Hey Ma, welcome. It's got kind of a candy sweetness to it. The hot one, as always, is unsweetened, so I'm drinking everything as it would naturally taste on its own. I did sweeten the iced tea though, with some stevia, so we'll see how that goes. But as you can see, it's got pretty much the same color. It's really hard to make a distinction, especially with this light and it being so practically clear that it's really hard to figure out what its true color is. Oh, but it still smells just as fragrant. I love this. Oh, that is wonderful. It's very juicy. It's refreshing. This is the kind of flavor that is just perfect for summer because it's got a lot of concentrated fruit in it, and like the floral just brings that out. Now, taking a look at the tea itself, you can see it's a very light looking tea. There's not a whole lot of like really dark earthy tones that you would see in a black tea. Even it's not even that green. You can't really see a whole lot of green for a green tea, but it's in there. You can smell it. That's the jasmine is bringing up some of the floral notes in it. And it also helps bring out this natural sweet juiciness, because the fragrance of the jasmine is so perfumey that it kind of like upholds the entire flavor base without actually being too strong in and of itself. I've never really smelled the jasmine in this. Because the fruit is overpowering, but I can taste it. like what I smell mostly is the fruits. There's it's a very fragrant tea, but it's very like it's fruit and flower. You can barely make out the actual tea itself, which is a good thing for some people who are just starting out drinking tea. This would be a good way to begin because it's not overpowering at all. So I would highly recommend this for like for a beginner or somebody who just likes fruit teas. Now, since this is a white tea, you have to be very careful of the way that you steep it, because it's a very delicate leaf. So the way that I did it was about 180 give or take. It was 180 degrees for 2 minutes. I probably could have gotten away with 3, but I mean that would be a hard line to pass. So I'm grateful that I only stuck it in for 2. I tend to be super cautious with white teas because they're very gentle, very brittle. Okay, I'm trying to show you guys what it looks like when it's there we go. When it's wet, you'll see. I'm trying not to. Okay, there we go. So you'll see there's not a huge difference in the size. It actually, for some reason, to me, I don't know if it looks the same to you guys, but to me, it actually looks smaller and more compact. Now that's not a normal reaction when you steep a tea, because normally it will open up. However, in this case, it doesn't look like it did that very much, if at all. It looks a little bit smaller. Here is an example. Oh, this is actually a really nice example. If you guys can see it, the tea it's like the 2 leaves and a bud. This is what each sample should look like. Where you see in the middle, there's 2. I don't want to break it, but there's the 2 leaves. Keeps twisting it around. It's the 2 leaves and the bud that's already in there. That is definitely a white tea leaf. You can tell because, what was this? Oh, hey Bombs, I got Bombs Cap. Thanks for coming. Sorry, I'm really trying to get used to seeing you guys on 2 screens. I'm still messing with the the setup a little bit, because right now I have the there you are, Teresa, welcome. Yeah, this is technically things are happening. I wasn't getting your guys messages for a little bit, so I just switched off and on, and then I have like you guys in front of me and the computer is over there, so I have to like split my eyeballs a little bit. It's gonna take some getting used to, but in any case, so what's the question in? There it is. Here's a full fruit list. Yeah, thanks for handling that, gamer. it's really hard for me to like to play to 2 cameras and a computer, so I appreciate your guys' patience with me. It's a brand new setup. Usually I have everything put together, but yeah, I'm trying out a new set, and it's not that easy to deal with. Anyway, I'm still working on it. But yeah, so as I was saying, you could tell that it's a white leaf. It's hard to tell in this light because it doesn't quite capture the full texture of the leaf, but there is little white fuzz, and that's what gives the white tea its natural sweetness. It's just little whiskers in it that give it like an airy, kind of silky texture as well. Here, I'm trying to find a green piece. I see them, but like every time I grab one, it tears. There we go. It's a very crispy, very dry leaf. But you see, this one is more mature. You can see there's more color to it. It's greener than it looks like it's coming on camera. But it does, it is, you can tell it's a little bit greener. Just show you guys real quick on there. So it's got like that, it's a very rare thing that it works with two different types of teas, but this actually pulls it off pretty well. You have the white and the green, two types of green as well, because the gunpowder is a bit highly oxidized, while the jasmine chunhao is slightly less oxidized, but it's still a greener tea with a lighter flavor. The gunpowder is a stronger tea. I'm looking to see if I can find some. Okay, yeah, here it is. I got lucky, first try. So as you can see, this piece is higher oxidized. This is a piece of the gunpowder. Normally, gunpowder is done in pellets, so that there would be little balls. This one, it's going to be a little bit difficult to find the green because like there's just so much going on in there. So I'm looking, but I am not able to find a better piece. Oh, wait, here we go. Two pieces. It's like a little bit of a scavenger hunt, which is nice. All right, without cracking any of it, because it is super dry, you can see much darker, but that still constitutes a green tea. Because it's only going to be about maybe 60 to 80% oxidized. So it still maintains its status as a green tea, but it's really, really close to a black tea, which is about 80% oxidized and above. So I'm pretty sure that this blend maintains its light flavor by having a majority of white tea along with the floral and the fruits, with a follow-up of the two green teas. I'm assuming the medium or the middle ground would be the jasmine chunhao to help give fragrance to the flower and the fruit portion, and then at the very base, which would probably have the least amount of content, is the gunpowder, because that's going to be a very strong blend in and of itself. Now, when you drink gunpowder on its own, it tastes like a very traditional, very traditional green tea. No flavors, there's no flavors, not very fragrant, but you'll get a whole lot of the vegetal flavor. So that's what you get with gunpowder. With jasmine, it's a very floral blend, very perfumey. There's a lot of people love candles, people love perfumes that smell like jasmine. It's really, really nice. I started drinking jasmine as one of my very first green teas, and that actually helped me acclimate myself to other green teas. It took me a while to do other ones like gunpowder and green dragon, white monkey, and stuff like that. But it does do it did open up the door for me, which I am very grateful for. So what is your fun fact, Sneha? It says this tea embodies enlightenment. History behind the history behind the name is Buddha Siddhartha, or the Enlightened One, was a teacher, philosopher, and spiritual leader who is renowned as the founder of Buddhism. He resided in the region around the border of modern-day Nepal and India, sometime between 6th and 4th century BC. While scholars agree that Buddha did exist, the specific dates and events are still debated. That's pretty cool. I mean, I love listening to that kind of history. It's very grounded and very, uh, it's very enlightening. Thanks for that. So there's a certain kind of candy sweetness that I'm getting from the hot version, and it's kind of like a kind of like an like a thick kind of sweetness to it. It sits on the palate very well, and it's very it's kind of concentrated, which I thoroughly enjoy because it's full flavored, very hearty. Even though it's sweet, it still has a very strong presence, you know. Okay, I'm doing the Thomas taste there, and there's like an extra layer. There's an extra layer when you breathe out that takes over the palate. Like I said before, it's a very hearty flavor, but as you breathe, it kind of sits there for a long time. And sometimes I forget to do the Thomas taste, but oftentimes that reveals something new because you're sitting there, you're thinking for a moment, and as you breathe it, you continue to taste it, which is a great method to really. Did I compare the hot and cold? Yeah. It's like talking about the. They're very similar in flavor. You're getting. Let me try some of the. Let me try some of the iced again. Now, yeah, it's like they're very similar in flavor. I'm not getting a whole lot of difference, which I wasn't really expecting in it because this is a light and sweet tea in and of itself. Just regular, it's going to taste light and sweet and airy, and even when it's iced, it continues that same trend. There's very, very little difference, and honestly, if it wasn't for the temperature, I wouldn't be able to tell which was which. And that's a good thing because a lot of for this entire series, there have been some distinct differences between the hot and the cold because I've gone for the more savory side. But well, I can't even say for the savory side because last week's caramel rooibos was really good. But there was like a concentrated heavy sweetness and then a lighter, more airy sweetness to it. So even then, there was a big difference between the two. So drinking the hot and the iced, it's not a huge contrast between the two flavors. However, I mean, it stands to reason because you don't make a white tea too hot to begin with. You only do it at about 180 degrees, and you steep it light for 2 minutes. Now, the way that I steeped the iced was I cold steeped it. And that is basically the same thing. You're getting a cooler temperature. You're letting the water pull out the flavor without burning it out. So you're gonna get all of the flavor soaked overnight. It's gonna pull out all the sweetness, pull out all the floral tastes to it. But because the temperature is never too high, you're not gonna get much of a difference in taste. So yeah, I'm really thoroughly enjoying drinking this. This is, in my opinion, it's like the perfect summer blend because hot or cold, you're getting that summer feeling. You know, it's got the light, airy flavor with the floral fruits, and that's classic summer. Hmm. Oh, that is so good. Okay, so I'm going to open up the floor for questions, comments, anything you want to talk about. Now is the time. I do have some announcements. Off the top of my head, I have at least two, so that'll work for sure. So tomorrow I'm going to have another tea party. Last week we had the Nomad Tea Festival, which was, in my opinion, a raging success. Um, we had a good going in and out. This is counting the people. We had a base of 15 to come in. There were a lot of people that were just happy watching and watching our conversations, which it's great. But we had about maybe 7 or 8 people, I believe, coming in and out, and just spending some time and talking and sharing their experiences. And it was fantastic. I'm not going to complain about the results whatsoever because, again, we only had an hour and a half scheduled, and we went on for 2.5 hours. People had a blast. We had about 8 new people join in into the group, and this was during the meeting itself, the session. So it was really fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to doing more tea festivals, virtual and or live. But yeah, it's really great, and I had a wonderful time. So that being said, our tea party, our regular Saturday tea party, is going to be on tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central. I have the link posted on the Facebook site. Anybody else who is not on the Facebook book page but wants to join anyway, feel free to let me know and I'll send you the link. You Twitch guys, exactly. You guys are all invited as well. Yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be a good time as always. So coming up next in November is going to be the International Virtual Tea Festival. This is the one that was supposed to take place in Merchandise Mart by this year but unfortunately because of the pandemic, it's not going to happen. It's going to be all virtual, which it's great for. I will be attending both days. I have my virtual booth set up. I'm still working some of the details out, but there will be 2 8-hour shifts, and we're gonna have people coming in and out, and talking, sharing, having a good time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Tickets for general admission are free. $25 if you want a swag bag mailed to you. That's gonna have a bunch of tea samples. It's gonna have pieces of teaware like teacups or mugs or something like that. Last year we had these little tiny teacups that were sponsored by Tigerschwender, and they are adorable. I'm going to use them. I'm going to use them on the stream one of these days. I'm just waiting because there is one more piece that I finally have access to. So I'm going to get that pretty soon, and probably next month I'll pull them out and you guys will see for yourselves. But yeah, so they have those little pieces there. There's going to be advertisements from different companies from all over the world. So it's going to be it's definitely worth the $25 admission. And for $45, you'll have access to not just the swag bag, but all of the pre-recorded lessons and lectures that will be available. The people who are hosting and sponsoring it will get those online, and they'll be available for, I believe, the entire month, so that you don't have to sit there and watch them all day, one right after the other. You can take your time and go and pick and choose what you want, when to see it, all at your great time, all at your own pace. So by all means, enjoy it. This is going to be. I'm thinking about buying the $45 option myself. Because last year we went to a few of the the sessions, the lectures, and it was just such an incredible time. I'm gonna miss for sure. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to take a look. and see what I can get myself into. Mm. Oh, it is so good. Okay. Questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Now's the time. I don't know if you guys are talking on Facebook. I have to keep on switching back and forth because sometimes it freezes up like it did earlier, and I don't know if you guys were actually talking. So, you gotta love those technicalities. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna answer Teresa's question as I always do. What kind of food would I eat? Exactly. What kind of food would I pair this with? Since it's very fruity, I would like to keep it as either something light, like a salad, something very, very, something not overpowering, light, white, like white rice. Something that just cleanses the palate, or desserts. Anything that's sweet. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Oh, that's the worst. Yes, absolutely. This is definitely a dessert tea. It's super sweet, super airy and flavorful, and dare I say, it's playful. It makes you feel good when you drink it, and it just keeps you going. It's making me happy, and that's what's good about a sweet tea is that it's a mood changer. This is caffeinated, by the way. It's not very, very highly caffeinated because it's just a white tea. Their description is, it's not going to have the description on here, but it usually says whether it's highly caffeinated, moderately caffeinated, or slightly caffeinated. I would say that this is more on the slight side. But a little bit higher than slight, only because there's a mixture of green tea as well. And green tea is a bit higher in caffeine than white tea. However, it's not going to be super duper caffeinated. Like black tea, matcha, or a mate, those are like high up there. If this is matcha and mate, and then you'll have black tea over here, white and green, it's going to be generally around here. And then this is like no caffeine. So this is like it's a pretty well. This isn't gonna kick your butt in the morning, which is good because I just needed a slight caffeine kick. I was a little bit tired before starting the stream, but now it's like I have enough energy to just keep going. This gave me a second wind rather than having to wake me up. And it's just exactly what I needed. So I made a good choice for today's stream. Oh, so to rate today's teas, I would definitely give these a 4.5 to 5 teacup rating. I mean, I hate doing ratings. I really do. It just seems so cheesy to me. But if I were to rate it, I would give it that kind of I would definitely recommend it, especially during the summer because hot or cold, you get that nice flavor, and it's versatile because if you have the air conditioning on too high, hot will do it. You don't have to make it too hot in order to warm you up. As a matter of fact, you can't, otherwise you'll ruin the flavor. So yeah, this is actually a really good tea, and I'm glad that I used this one in particular to close out the month of July because it's the perfect summer tea. Like in my opinion, it's one of the best ones that you can possibly drink right now. All that being said, in one breath. Okay, questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Now's the time. Oof. I'm always having trouble now. I'm drinking 2 glasses of tea, and it's like really heavy on the stomach sometimes. And I'm kind of losing my touch because I used to drink a whole teapot by myself every Friday. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so we do have a new catalog that was released. Um, it's got a bunch of merchandise in it. No tea yet, unfortunately, but it's got official community branded uh, stuff like shirts and hats and jackets and stuff like that. It's got some really, really cool things. I designed them all myself, so you're welcome. It's, but seriously, I have it out there, so if you want to get it, let me know. I will email. You can email me at thecommuni-tea at outlook.com, or you can just message me and I'll email it to you there from the Outlook email address. But it's got some really awesome stuff in it. I highly recommend that you guys take a look, and if you like something, they make great gifts. Okay, so it looks like my time is up. Thank you guys for joining me. We got very little left, so I'll go ahead and finish it off. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, a great week next week, and hope I might see you tomorrow. If not, see you next time. Bye.